And we're live. Welcome to CyberCast IRL. It is Friday, June the 20th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me this morning. And yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week for the kid. I'm not going to lie. It's been an interesting week, but I sure am glad that you've come here today. Got a lot of ride or dies already in the chat room. We've got Carrie. We've got Luke Canfield just showed up. Space Tacos. The Pain is in the house. The Pain. Steve Young, Kyle. Oh, and of course, Wayne's Real World, a fan. Outlaw 11, can't forget. Alan Reeder, good morning. How are you? Thanks, everyone, for joining me today. And oh, man. Oh, I just saw Simply Cyber starting to raid the channel. Jerry got done with jaw jacking, and now everyone is here. James McQuiggan starting off with, hello, what did I lose? That's a spoiler. We'll get to that in just a moment. But Sierra Montgomery showing up. Who else do I see? I see John, Mark Fuentes, Dark Iceman. Hi, how's it going? Okay, so let's start this morning off because, if you are new to the channel, and hey, I want to give everybody a little bit of time to kind of pop in, get settled, get their popcorn ready. If they got a can of a tasty beverage ready to partake in the morning pour, we'll get to that here momentarily as well. But just for you newbies out there that have joined me, thank you. Your time is precious, and the fact that you decided to spend it with me, I'm honored. So there's that. As well as if you want to get my attention, you want to ask me a question, you have an interesting comment or something like that you think that I should really see, you got to make sure to put it in the chat with my name. You got to @ my name. I'm feeling really discombobulated this morning, by the way. I don't know why. I'm not a hundo. But here you go. Here's what it looks like. You can see Carrie right here. He had done @ Daniel Lowry. I will go out and get my raid can to make the raid. So that I believe he's talking about the bug spray. I hope not, though. That's kind of funny. But there you go. That's what you got to do. And that way I can see it. It really pops out, really stands out. If I do miss things, I am human. I will make some mistakes and miss your comments from time to time. Wayne's Real World is in the chat. He's our official, unofficial moderator who will try to make sure that I see that and go, hey, so-and-so is trying to get a hold of you. He'll pester me, which is his job to do. And we appreciate you, Wayne, or all you do for the channel. You're a stand-up guy, Wayne. Stand-up guy, and we love you. All right, that said, we got to start, because, right, like, I always feel like, welcome to the show. I got to get my tackling fuel. I got to have what we like to call the morning pour. That's right, for you noobs out there. It's a little ASMR thing we like to do, where I take this lovely woodland camo cup. Very nice. Got some ice in there, chilled to a perfection. And I grab a Monster Energy drink. As you might be able to tell, I'm a fan of the Monster Energy drinks. And I like to partake. I like to imbibe in them once a week. Typically, once a week. Sometimes I fall off the wagon and I have to grab one. But typically, it's once a week thing, and I share it with you. So you get to watch my reaction. You get to hear the ASMR pour. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a little thing we like to do. Today's CyberCast IRL is brought to you by the OG, the Zero Ultra. This one's for you, Luke J, because I know how much Luke J. And you know what? This is the thing that got me hooked on Monster Energy drinks right here. I was like, dang, that's a tasty drink. Doesn't have a weird bitter aftertaste or make my mouth feel like a bucket of sand when I got done drinking it. It's refreshing, it's effervescent, and it's tasty. And we got to get that crack. I'm going to do a one-finger crack. Ready? Oh, yeah. That's it right there. Nice college style or redneck, whatever you like to be. All right, let's get the microphone situated and begin. Whoa. I didn't know if I was going to make it. I am literally like at the very top of this cup when it comes to the pour. Oh man, I was like, should I stop? Should I stop? No, I'm going for it. But here we go. Get a little tug of this bad boy. Luke J. That is for you right there, my good friend, and that is not bad at all. Let me set that out of the way. Get my cup. Man, yes. I'm starting to feel invigorated, right? It's happening. It's alive. Carrie says, that was an epic pour. I agree, sir. Man. Like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to hold the can. My arms are a little, especially like behind my rear shoulders, my traps. Got back in the gym lately, and I'm a little sore. I'm a little tired, so my strength is a little, oh, Papa Dan here ain't doing so well with his strength. He needs help. But there we go. So that was fun. Man, that was a tasty. I'm going to get one more just because I like it. Outlaw Evan says, history was rarely made by those who don't take risks. Keep pouring. That's right. Just go for it. What do they say? Fortune favors the bold. And, I live my life by that. Every now and then you got to take a chance. You got to take a risk. Oh, man. Luke J says, best pour of the show so far. Well, for you, sir. Super User Do. What's up, Super User Do in the house? Did Liquid Warhead from last make the shelf? No, it made the garbage can. That's what that made. That's where it currently resides, in the Marion County landfill or recycling center. I guess it's more properly where it is. But all right, let me see if I caught any or missed anything. I need a Monster IV. You're darn right I do. But then I would miss the whole like flavor enjoyments, right? If it was just going mainline in, half of the fun is tasting it. Oh, that is from the old Raid commercials, right? To the Raid Room. Good job, Carrie. Good throwback. Okay, so this is where we start to get into cyber stuff. Super User Do, hold on, I'm going to get to this in just a second. We're throwing our Boston office party. This is from Super User Do. Throwing our Boston office party, so I got to check out early. Refusing to miss the pour. Well, thank you for joining us and not missing the pour. Have a great time at your office party. Tell your boss I said hello, and that they should make everybody watch CyberCast IRL as part of their job description. Right? All right, let's see here. Black Shell says, best Python guitar player. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And then, okay, so now we're getting into some actual, where'd it go? This is from White Hat Sheepdog. White Hat Sheepdog asks, what's my take on the layoffs at Intel and Microsoft this week? Well, honestly, I did not see it, which means we're going to have to go look it up so that we can get a take on this thing. We're going to talk about this in a moment. Let's see here. Layoffs at Microsoft. What happened? Microsoft is planning further job cuts with thousands more layoffs expected in July, following the 6,000 jobs eliminations in May. That's okay. Did they say exactly how many people to cut thousands more? I mean, technically that's 2, but not that that's great. All right, Wall Street Journal. You're a business rag. Tell us a bit about this business. Company is expected to start around July and will target sales and other departments. That's vague. News would be great. Oh, you got to be kidding me with this stupid. Pay me for my work. Crazy. No, I get it, right? Yeah, people need to get paid. I just don't have the time to do that right now. I will accept. Let's see what GeekWire says. Okay, the company is preparing thousands more layoffs, this time focused on areas including sales, but it doesn't say anywhere, citing unnamed sources. Okay, so this is seems to be a bit of a hearsay at this point, right? Because it says citing unnamed sources who say the job cuts are expected to be announced early next month. So it seems like technically Microsoft has not announced this yet, that this is some insider saying, I know about this. I'm letting people know more layoffs are coming, specifically in sales. Okay, but what are the other areas? Microsoft employees by category. Let's take a look at that. So we've got, yeah, thank you. Operations is in red. And okay, product R&D is in green, sales and marketing is in blue, and general and admin is in this like mustard yellow, this like Dijon mustard yellow, spicy goldens thing going on here. The company has had 228,000 employees as of June 2024, including 45,000 in sales and marketing, which was flat from the prior year. It's the third largest category behind operations with 86,000 and product and research and development with 81,000. Microsoft hasn't said whether its recent job cuts are directly tied to efficiencies from artificial intelligence, but a research report from the company earlier this week pointed to a future of smaller AI-assisted teams across many industries. Well, I mean, my take on that is I think I've been saying this for some time. I know a lot of people are like, they're not going to take our jobs, and then they do take our jobs. But they say, well, yeah, they're going to take our jobs, but then new jobs will arise as we learn how to utilize AI as a tool. The people that know how to use AI as a tool will have the new jobs. And I think there's quite a bit of truth to that. Is that I'm going to put it this way. You ready? Here's my take on this. If you are not learning how to utilize AI as vastly and deeply as you possibly can, you are setting yourself up to not be in technology. I think that that's the case, at least for the most part. Hedge my bets a bit. But I think that like AI is going to be a tool that's used in every facet of technology and in other career lanes as well. So you just got to get with it. You just got to go, okay, what do I need to learn about AI? So do I need to learn how to do automation? Do I want to learn about coding? Do I want to learn, how do I use this for networking? How do I just saw Network Chuck did a video because he was at Cisco Live. He did a whole video on asking, kind of like the person on the street thing going on of what do you think about AI and networking? Like, is networking admin or administration a thing of the past? Is it just changing? What do you think? And a lot of people were like, yeah, I mean, you can get AI to do quite a bit of this stuff. And it's going to come down to the few people that really know how to utilize AI are going to be the ones with the good jobs. I'm not saying there's not going to be other jobs that can be done by people, but I think that the jobs that are coveted, they're going to be AI heavy. So you got to get with the program when it comes to AI. All right, let me check the chat here. Getting back to it. Okay, John Burns asks, what application security projects impressed hiring managers or you? Application security projects would impress me. Well, it would depend on your tech stack and all that. But I mean, if you're building stuff with AI, you're integrating AI, you're learning about AI, that would be impressive. That's good, right? That shows me you're staying on top of what's going on. Other things would be like showing that you have some sort of proficiency with a programming language. And then, of course, common security tools, some type of SIEM, some type of EDR, some type of so on and so forth. Log aggregation, like that kind of stuff would be really good. Are you working with like Nessus? Have you handled, again, depending on what way you're going with as far as app security, are you so proficient with code that you can do code review? That is by the way, fun fact, code review on the red side of things where you're looking for insecurities through code, basically doing static code analysis. That's a great niche to get into, by the way. It's just a really hard one to be proficient at, and it takes time. You got to learn programming. So there you go. Okay. You know what? I came up with an idea the other day to keep the chat from jumping on me too hard. Here we go. Let's see here. Outlaw. Oh yeah. Here we. I'm getting caught up. I'm getting caught up. Do you pour? This is from Luke J. Do you pour the with the can cold? Typically, yes. This one was not. I forgot to chill it last night and so I had to grab a warm can, but it was fine. It's nice and chilly. I used enough ice, and I think that's why the pour was so like close to the tip today. Carrie says I got another TV and I have an antenna that I made with an old transformer and pointed in the direction, and I have some cool amount of over-the-air channels. Very cool. I love that stuff. I used to be really into free-to-air satellite, and I've heard that people used to pirate like Dish Network stuff. Heard all about that, boxes and binaries and fun stuff like that. Friends used to do it. Not this guy. But anyway, there's still a lot of really cool stuff you can do with digital satellites and free to air stuff. It's a lot of fun. Let's see here. Black Shell says maybe she doesn't have to market herself anymore. I don't know who we're talking about. Black Shell. Do I play CTFs? When I get the chance. I used to do it a whole lot more. I don't do it nearly as much nowadays. Someone asked, I think it might have been Roswell, UK, was asking this morning, do you prefer to work in morning or like daytime or nighttime? My answer is yes. It's not that I prefer, it's just I literally work from the moment I wake up, which is before the sun, and I don't stop working until 9 p.m. at night. And then I spend some time. I have a little break before that. Obviously I take a lunch break. I take a little break to work out, and I take a break in the evening to have dinner and do family time. And I take Sundays off for church and stuff like that. So that is my the Sabbath. We have a rest day. But other than that, I am a working fool. Do a lot of work. So yeah, I didn't see Black Shell who you're referring to when she says maybe she doesn't need to market herself anymore. Maybe I mentioned somebody and I just didn't remember. Oh, let's see here. Moving on. Carrie says, thanks for pointing that out for AI. I use Gemini. Gemini helped me when I did my portfolio. Excellent. That is a great way to use that kind of stuff, right? And I use Gemini all the time. It's gotten a lot better lately, I will say. It has stepped up its game considerably within probably like the last month or so. So there's probably been some weights that have been added, some new data sets that have been, and they're updating it and they're making it better. Freakazoid Sec, finally getting to the live stream. Greetings from Austria, bro, or chick, bruh. Whatever the case may be, Austria is my number one. I want to go and visit because the Austrian Alps just look so amazing, just beautiful. I want to go there and see them. Your country just looks so beautiful. I would love to go to Austria one day. It's my number one vacation spot on my bucket list is to check out Austria. I think James McQuiggan asked me, what did I lose? All right, so let's get to that real quick. The good Lord saw fit this week to, as it says in the book of James, right, that be ye not, what does it say in James? I'm going to look it up. It says, do not be discouraged when you meet trials of various kinds, for that is to produce steadfastness in you, right? Well, trials of various kinds came to me this week when a lightning strike of epic proportions literally exploded my network pedestal about 20 feet from where I'm sitting. Like, it exploded with dirt, and the cover of the pedestal shot into the sky, and everything that was connected to my networking equipment, because I feel like this is what happened because it was such an odd way of, I think the lightning went through the coax into my cable modem into my access point because they're connected via a wire. And then I have a couple of things that are connected to those things via Ethernet cables, which was my B-Link mini PC that I bought like, 2-3 months ago, and my company laptop, two 24-inch Dell monitors, all the lights in my kitchen. Boom. Like surge protectors be danged. It did not matter at all. They did. Like dead. I'm like, oh yeah, I probably just need to unplug. Nope. Dead. Everything dead. Thank God it did not. Yes, I know. Kyle, thank you. The B-Link was, I was like, really? Really? The B-Link, the heart and soul of my lab environment. Gah! It was rough. It was rough. I was like, well, hey, you know what? That's what's up. Fortunately for me, so my company laptop, Black Hills, they literally had me another laptop within 24 hours. So I was like, whoa, that is sweet. That was good job, systems at Black Hills. Owen, my hat's off to you, sir, and your capabilities. So that was awesome. The B-Link, I ordered a new one immediately. I got that within a day, and I took the hard drive out of the old one, stuck it in the new one, fired right up. That was fun. So that was great. But that didn't mean I walked away on the B-Link unscathed. For whatever reason, all the VMs and VMware Workstation Pro is just like, I don't work anymore. One VM works, which is my Kali VM. All the other VMs do not work. It just says waiting to connect. If I try to create a new VM, I can go through the wizard to create a new VM. And as soon as you start it, it says waiting to connect. I uninstalled VMware Workstation Pro. I deleted everything that had VMware attached to it in my file system, except for my VMs, obviously. I reinstalled it. Same thing. It just, for whatever reason, no longer works on my system. Okay. So I was like, well, okay, that's fun. Pulled out VirtualBox, did some exporting of some VMs, which worked, and imported them, went fine. So there you go. It does bring up the whole, so somebody brought up taking backups and backup solution. How do you recover? I have cloud backup. I did lose a few things that I hadn't gotten around to backing up yet, because that's just what's up. Roswell UK says MAC address issues. I don't know. I don't know how that would stop it, because I can completely disassociate all networks and it still doesn't run. I can build one with nothing and it just doesn't run. So the VMs will not run in VMware at all. You would think that a complete uninstallation and reinstall would fix that problem, but it did not. By the way, fun fact, Broadcom and their infinite wisdom have decided to move the download for VMware. And man, they do not want you finding it. I don't understand what they're doing at Broadcom. Broadcom, if you're listening, you can kiss my butt with your tongue out, because whatever the hell you're doing is annoying, right? That's why we call this CyberCast IRL, because you can have hot takes like that, and that's fine, right? And Broadcom right now, you're on my list of what are you doing? Stop messing around. Most people, when they make a product, they want to get it into the hands of as many people as possible. But you seem to be like, here's fun. We'll make it like a CTF if they can find it. Yay. But, oh my goodness, it's flipping annoying. Yeah, I'm thinking about just downloading them all and putting them in a GitHub repo, and then just so that everybody can download it. All right, let me check chat because you guys are talking. Oh, let's see here. All right, so we got Freakazoid and then Simply Cyber. Sounds like your mic input changed. Yeah, that's the other thing. So, no, it's probably not you. The mic does seem a lot louder. It's not the same. I mean, you would think that just plugging in a new laptop, but it's not. It is not the same. And you guys tell me, as long as it sounds good, I'm happy with that. But if I need you guys to let me know, does it sound good? Do you like the way it sounds? How was the morning pour? Did you get a good, audio off of that? Because I'm recovering from a pretty catastrophic failure. I don't know why I took the top off this. And because of that, I couldn't prepare this week for CyberCast IRL. I literally tested all the settings last night at like 8:54. I did a private live stream just to see if everything was working, and it looked like it was. So I was like, fingers crossed for tomorrow. So yeah, let me know. I just happened to see Okan says you have to see Turkey too. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see Turkey. Okay, Jerry says, never mind, it was him. That's good to know. Okay, so hopefully everything is sounding good. Freakazoids lets me know that I am welcome for a beer. Listen, if I'm ever in Austria, I will let y'all know when I'm going to be there, and hopefully I'm not too far away from you, and we can meet up and have a beer. That would be awesome. Black Shell says, I mean Microsoft. Ah, yes, they started later. You mean she? Gotcha. They don't need marketing anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like everybody knows who they are at this point. Maybe they don't need a marketing team as much as they do. It was funny. I was at ShmooCon a few months ago, earlier in the year, obviously. And Microsoft, their booth was right next to the Black Hills booth. So it was kind of fun. And I was listening to them talk, and they were like, our booth sucks. They were next to our booth, which we had backdoors and breaches with the play mat. We've got the 20-sided die. We've got just stacks of backdoors and breaches going on. I'm giving out I'm doing demos of backdoors and breaches like every 5 minutes. Oh, it was crazy. We got all the pencils. We got tons of great swag at Black Hills. So they had like phone holders. The only saving grace for them was that even though it sucked being compared to us, and I got that, I was like, yeah, you kind of got, you brought your C game today, at least within compared to what we've got going on here. But it did kind of work out in their favor because our traffic would then move to them. So they vicariously got to enjoy that. Let's see here. Black Shell, is it possible to use AI and reverse engineering? I would almost guarantee it. I've never tried to do it, but it has been done. Yes, so yes, it is possible. I'm pretty sure it has been done. Let's see here. Victor Rosa. What's up, Victor Rosa? Do you consider that college degrees should go hand in hand with industry certs? Not per se, not necessarily, no. They are useful. They are a tool. They are a thing that you use. I probably just honestly, I don't do a lot of. I haven't done a speaking engagement in a long time, just because I never feel like I have anything to say, even though I do this every week. But it's not a prepared, slides and all that stuff. But maybe that would be a good talk to give, because I do see this a lot where everybody's like, hey, what's the right path, right? Everybody's got a path to cyber. Do I do this, this, and this? Is that the right path to cyber? Or maybe I do this, this, and this, and that's the right path to cyber. That's almost an impossible thing to answer. There are many roads to the mountaintop into a cyber career, because there are many different cyber careers. For one, and secondly, you are different than everyone else. There are very well-trodden paths that people have a lot of similar time on to getting into cyber. And so you can look at that and go, okay, but you don't see, I guess here's where we make the mistake. We make the mistake of looking at, I see a lot of people going from help desk into junior admin to cyber. So that's the path. And they had their security plus and a CISA plus and their CEH, or maybe they got their CISSP and that was there. Maybe they got the GSEC or they got the new Google security certification or whatever. And they were successful. They made it into cyber. So that's the way you get into cyber. It's like, no, that's how they got into cyber. It's possible for you to follow suit. What you need to do is look at what they're doing and see how, in their case, was that useful to them? How could I then use that in my case for what I want to do in the jobs that I'm looking for? And maybe you're just like, hey, I just want to get any cyber job. And that's why we say just take any. So here's the thing. FYI, fun fact, every IT job, I will say, in my opinion, is a cyber job, right? And you're like, what? No, you're just bull crapping me, Dan. You're just trying to be like funny or whatever. Here's the thing. Even if I work as a front desk person, do I have a login to a laptop, to a desktop machine? Do I have access to systems at all? If I do, I am part of the cybersecurity, right? Because the teams that are putting together true cyber stuff, right, defending that network, their job is to set it up to be as secure as they possibly can. But they also have to give you trust and access to those things. And even though you work at that front desk, they can give you all the security awareness training in the world. At the end of the day, if you throw it two double birds and go, yeah, I'm going to log in when my friends log in. I'm going to download this thing and install it. I'm going to do so. I'm going to click this link in this email. Oh, weird. My computer's acting funny, right? It's still, you are a part of that ecosystem. So get any cyber job you can. Or I say any cyber job, any IT job, anything related to where you touch a computer, and then tell everybody that will listen to you how interested you are into working on the help desk. So if you start at the front desk, you start talking to people that work on the help desk and the people that work on the defensive team and as the admins. If you don't have a proper cyber security team, you have admins. Find out when they go to lunch and kind of meet them on the way out, right? You're hacking your way into this thing. Getting into these job roles is very difficult. We're just looking at right now about Microsoft dropping thousands of more people. Now, technically that's in sales or whatever. At least that's what we've got so far, but it very well may be in some sort of technology. So you have to compete with them. A great way to be able to compete with them is to be the person they already know and trust and know that you're into it. And you start connecting with those people on the passion for cyber. And then finally, when something comes up, or maybe they know someone who had something come up, they go, you know who would be great for that? You know how many jobs I've gotten that way? Like most of them, right? Once I stopped trying to force my way into the front door and started just being cool with people and meeting people and talking about the stuff we were interested in and making a point to staying engaged with them about it, not in a way of like, hey, I would love a job. Hey, do you hear any jobs? Have you heard of a job? I need a job. Have you seen a job? I need a job, right? Not that way, but like, oh man, did you see Microsoft is laying off people today? Oh, you know what I did this week? I spun up this really cool boot to root thing. It was so cool. I had to do this and I learned all about that. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. What was that? Oh yeah, it was a try hack me room, or I did this hack the box, or I grabbed something off VoneLab, or whatever the case is. You show them that you're interested, and then you're like, oh man, I signed up for AWS this week. I got that free tier. I'm going to try to get that first certification, right? I just want to start getting down that road. Cloud, great way to go. I'm diving headfirst into AI. I want to stand up an MCP server, start to learn about that stuff, right? Hey, I remember Carrie was talking a couple of weeks ago about, hey, let me learn more about Active Directory. Phenomenal. That's a great way to go. And then when you get enough information, you start to understand how Active Directory works. Then you spin up like Game of Active Directory and you start working on the cyber side of things. Can I do this here? Like learn about Sentinel, learn about, WAFs and things of that nature. We're going to talk about that just again here in a second. But that's what you do. And you get involved with people. And when the people know you, they trust you, they see your passion for it. That is the best road. So your road is always a one size fits one solution. There's only things you can do. So if you're looking at a degree, where do you want to go into cyber? Is that degree, as far as you can see, as you do your research for those jobs that have that title, is this something that you commonly see there? If it is, then yes, it is worth it. I would highly consider grabbing a degree in that so that I could get those jobs. Whether or not it's necessary or useful, again, it's just going to depend. I hate those answers. I hate all the subjectivity to it. And I'm just trying to give you as much good information as I can on what you can do with that. So yeah, there you go. Sarah Montgomery. Oh man. Glad you and the fam were safe. Yeah, we were good. Nothing happened. My neighbor was standing outside when the lightning struck and he watched it happen. And he said, the lights on the cars came on. The headlights on all the cars came on. That's how much electricity boomed through that pop. I was in the house and it looked like an alien abduction through the windows, right? It was just all light. I was like, whoa, what was that? And of course you feel the Krakatoa hit you and you're like, okay. And the lights went out and I'm like, well, we still have electricity. Weird. And then I started looking at things. I'm like, oh no. Oh, tear. Pour one out for my homie, right? I'll drink one for my homies. There we go. Did you have an uninterrupted power supply in UPS? Yep, it did not care. It did not care at all. And I think that was because it did not go through the power. It went through the network cables because everything that was connected via network cable died. My iMac right here, it's on Wi-Fi and it's not connected. So this laptop, or my old laptop that used to sit here, and my mini PC have Cat6 Ethernet cables plugged directly into the switch on the back of the access point. And they did. They all sorts of dead. I am surprised. I guess not so much the monitors. They just must be delicate little flowers that took the EMP and could not handle it. They were not plugged into UPSs, though. I will say that. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. What can we learn from electricians about earthing your property? Yeah. Yep. It technically didn't hit my house. It hit the pedestal outside. So I don't know if earthing would have helped, but maybe it would have. And I will look into it, honestly. Do I have a signature dance move? Yes, the slide glide. You can look that up. Oh, man. I've been chat-orific this morning. Joseph Caskell says, good morning. Good morning to you and everyone else. David Tui's in the house. Why do Broadcom give the downloads such long, complicated names? That is a great question. Again, Broadcom, what are you doing? Make it easy. Wayne's Real World says, I sound good. Thank you for the mic check. Black Shell, I hated that whole thing about having to register to download a VMware. Yeah, had an old copy on my SSD and installed it. It worked without any problems. Right. What do you got to go through all the hoops for? Testy much? Maybe. Did the mic get crispy? I don't know. Sounds excellent as always. Thank you, BLT. So good. Well, that's good to know that I'm not getting any kind of weird artifacting or weird stuff. I had some stuff earlier in the week. Everything was not copacetic, I will say. Okay, looks like I'm getting close to caught up with the chat. White Hat Sheepdog, Intel's laying off 20K people as of this week as well. Yeah, lots of tech layoffs going on. You know, there's a lot of weird things going on in the world right now, and that probably helps impact that. Not just the AI stuff, but you know, we cannot see into the future, unfortunately. You just got to become as much. You got to pour the awesome on yourself as much as humanly possible so that you can grab those jobs when they become available if you are in contention for them. Random X, for security after dark, you could also have a live section called On the DL, where you go off the handle on hot stuff. That's not a bad. Hold on. That is not a bad idea. On the DL, I like that. After dark. I will give you an update on that here in just a moment. On the DL, it's a hot takes. All right, I like that. That's not a bad idea at all. Look at the chat coming through. Random X. Oh, let's see here. Wins Real World. That's what I did. Try Hack Me, BHIS, and watching videos, reading the news, etc. Right. You have to be involved. You have to stay going, and then you have to let people know that's what you're doing. That's why I'm a big proponent of telling people, this is what I'm doing. Here's my work. Here's what I'm up to. A lot of times it's really hard to get to that audience, but you have the internet. So you're going to start off, you're going to have like 5 views. You're going to have like 2 likes. It doesn't matter. Just keep doing it. Be consistent. You're not trying to become an influencer. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have the ability to point people to say, here is my body of work. It doesn't matter that it has 2 likes. It doesn't matter that it has 20 impressions or 65 views over the last 2 years. Who cares? That's not the point of it. If you want to become an influencer, then yeah, you're not doing great. But that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it as a way to go, oh, you want to see, you know what? I can do you better than a resume. Go here, go here, go here, go here. Check out my stuff. Pick up your phone. Have that all ready, pre-gamed for your interview. Yeah, I got my YouTube channel here. You can see all my different videos I've made on different technologies, installs, configs, that kind of stuff. Cybersecurity related things that I'm looking into. Here's my LinkedIn, all my posts. You can see they're all related to. I did some write-ups. I got a Medium, right? You're doing stuff. Here's my GitHub where I built some tools. And you already have all that. You're just swiping and showing it to them. Because, yeah, you can write it on that resume and maybe that helped you get to the interview portion. But when you're just demonstrating that you're doing nothing but this anyway, now they can have you do it for them. Right? That's a good sales tactic for you right there. Carrie says that I haven't gotten Active Directory built since the computer I have with the laptop is very small. M2 drive I am waiting for when I can get a bigger drive. Totally get you. I still would recommend spinning something up in Azure or AWS. If you ran the whole thing for a month, never shutting it off, it'll run you like $5. So it's a nice short-term solution. Oh, actually, if you create another free tier, so go get a MailFence email or, Proton Mail or whatever, and create another free tier account and then use the free tier. Get those $200 worth of Azure bucks, right? Or Azure credits, and just spin it up in there. And then you ain't got to wait for all that. You can just do it today. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay. Okay, where am I at? Old person answer, it depends. Okay. Black Shell, how is it pivoted? What is a good tool for this? Chisel, Legolo NG. There you go. Good pivot tools. Proxy chains. Wayne's Real World, I think you need a bigger UPS. Yeah, well, you don't expect God tier lightning strikes to bypass the standard stuff and kill them. Again, would UPS have saved me on that? I would have had to have my network cables plugged in because it didn't kill things that were connected to the UPS. It killed things that were connected via networking cables. So, White Hat Sheepdog, best news this week from CompTIA is they're doing localized pricing. Yeah, that is a big deal. And thank you for bringing that up. So CompTIA has decided that they understand that not everybody's economy is the same. So charging everybody the same doesn't seem to make a lot of sense because, $20 in the US is not the same as $20 in like Delhi, right? That's a different ballgame. We're not a one-to-one kind of thing. So, and the the way economies work in different areas is different. So I kudos to CompTIA on that one. Listen, we say good work when people are doing good work, and we call you out, Broadcom, when you're doing stupid stuff, right? That's how this works. I always say, if some technology or company or corporation does something you don't like, by all means, let them know. I don't like it that you're doing this. And a lot of times that's by like canceling your subscription or doing whatever, especially if it's something that's really egregious that you maybe fundamentally disagree with on a philosophical, like moral level or whatever. But when they reverse that action due to the pressure that their clientele put on them about that, then you reward them because then they know, oh, I got you. There always has to be a path to forgiveness, right? So that they know this is what you don't do, this is what you do, and that's how it works. They'll get the message. It's pretty easy. Okay. Payload Payden says, this has become the highlight of my week. Thanks for all you do and sharing this time with us. You are welcome. I know we've only got 15 minutes left. I haven't even got to the stuff I wanted to talk about. This is how this goes. The chat, you guys are so engaged and you're so good with this. And that brings me to a point, something I thought about is I want to thank everybody that gives me a like and engages with me here in the chat. It looks like a lot of you do like the show and you give me the thumbs up in YouTube because I see all those statistics after the show is over. And it's like, oh, wow, like many of you are doing that. And I really appreciate that. It really helps the show to grow and get to other people. We do want to bring new people in so that they can be a part of the conversation. I really enjoy hanging out with you all just as much, I think, as you enjoy coming to hang out with me. So I love this. All right, highlight of your week. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you. John Q, I just happened to see your thing about dealing with imposter syndrome. You just got to stop comparing yourself to other people. The only person you should compare yourself to is you from yesterday. As long as you're getting better today than you were yesterday, you're never going to know all the things. You just got to get it out of your head. And I think that once that paradigm shifts, that there's always going to be someone smarter, there's always going to be someone better, and that there are people that are looking at you going, they've made it. I'll never get to be as awesome as them. Trust me, it's there, it's happening. Someone's looking at you going, wow, man, they really got it together. So just get that in your head and that paradigm will shift. And then imposter syndrome just goes, whatever. And it just kind of mildly pops its head up from time to time. And you go, oh yeah, whatever. That's stupid thinking. And you move on. So that's how I have learned to deal with it, is that I'm not comparing myself to other people anymore. Those days have long gone. I compare myself to, am I growing? Am I getting better? What's some good cloud training you would recommend? Are you talking about specific cloud training, like for AWS or Azure or whatever? I used to would be able to tell you where to go, but now I don't know. I used to easily tell you where to go for that stuff, but now I cannot do that. Gary says he will see if he can use Proton Mail to have a free tier since I procrastinated last time with a free tier. Good on you, man. Just get out there and make it happen. You can do it. Wayne says he was a Jaws pun. Gotcha. Sarah Montgomery, have to run. Oh, thank you for joining us, Sarah. Always a pleasure to have you in here. Okay. Let's see here. We got 11 minutes to rock. Update on CyberCast IRL after dark. After dark is close. I have done some testing. Preliminary testing has gone probably around 90%. Losing the studio did not help, which probably put me back to about 80%. So I have some rebuilding to do and some more testing to do, but we're probably going to hit the first one within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Right? That's good. I would love to be able to, like Jerry was talking about this morning, under promise and over deliver. I would love to be able to do that sooner, and hopefully that happens, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks on After Dark. So we're going to have a guest kind of in here bantering with me, like a co-host kind of situation. And it'll be the same kind of idea, but just 2 people instead. And it'll be at a later time. And it will be on Wednesday nights at 9. That is the locked in time and date for those things. So there you go. Kevin Johnson says, how can I reach out to me privately? Hit me up in LinkedIn. DMs there work great, which are getting quite full. That is starting to become a problem, actually. But typically, DMs and LinkedIn are the way to go. Oh, let's see here. With 10 minutes to go, what else can we throw on top of this thing? Oh, I've got a new video coming out today. So you got to check that out. It should release at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And what I did was, let's go here, is I saw this in my LinkedIn feed, which is, Safe Points Web Application Firewall. And it looks like, there it is right there. So safepoint.cloud is where you want to go. And then find their SafeLine. Yeah, SafeLine Web Application Firewall right there. So really cool. I guess this is the landing page for that. Yeah, /landing/SafeLine. Really cool. The coolest part about it was zero money forever. And you can hit the install. It has a bunch of stuff. So the new video coming out today, I saw this and was like, let's just turn the camera on and fail our way through the installation and setup of this thing. Spoiler alert, I get it installed, I get it configured, and my thought was, you've got purposely vulnerable web applications aplenty. You got Juice Shop, WebGoat, you've got DVWA, Mutilidae, BWAP, all these things. And they're meant for you to learn on, right? I can learn how to do a SQL injection, and I have a great platform which to do that. I talked about WebSploit a few weeks ago. I made a video on that. That's a great way to just get fired up, right? I've got a whole virtual lab in my own environment that I have full access to. I am the master of the domain, right? And it has a lot of those things rocking and rolling right there, all in Docker containers. So I highly recommend WebSploit. If you're not familiar with how to get that up and running, you can go check out my video on that. But that's cool that they have those things in place and you have the ability to go, this is how a SQL injection works. But what happens once you kind of got that figured out? Okay, I know what OR 1 = 1 does. I get that. That could happen in real life land, but a lot of web apps today are being protected by WAFs, web application firewalls. And they see that OR 1 = 1 and they raise you a piss off. They go, no. That is not what we are doing here. I see this. So a great way to learn something new, like WAF bypass techniques. So I was like, let me stand this up in my home lab. And now we can start practicing and learning on WAF bypass techniques to see what's usable. This is a great way to do it. It doesn't cost me any money to get it stood up. Just took me a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. It's a really cool interface. I really enjoy it, actually. I find it to be quite a great product so far for the, less than 24 hours that I've been running it, but it worked like a charm. It's just basically a reverse proxy and booyah. So really cool stuff. I hope you guys watch that video and I hope you enjoy it. I hope that it's something you can use and utilize in your own home labs for learning how to bypass WAFs, or at least doing that. TJ says, fail fast. That's right. Fail fast, fail often. That's my motto and what I tend to do in real life. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about today. So I hope you guys would watch that and enjoy it and install SafeLine from SafePoint. This is not a sponsored ad, by the way. I'm not doing I just saw this and thought that looks like something that could be useful in my own learning journey. So now I'm just giving it to you to see how to do that as well. And trying to give you the easy button to see where I had trouble getting installed, because I did, how to work my way through those problems, which I did, and getting it configured, which, you're kind of, how it is when you're configuring things. You're like, what does an upstream mean? What do you mean by that? And am I interpreting your your specific definition of that term correctly? Hopefully I am. And then trying things and going, okay, that worked. It seems like I got that. Luke J says, I love you're doing the let's see how this goes approach. Yeah, sometimes it's fun, right? Sometimes I've tried to do that in the past and it can just be too lengthy and too like boring because you're just hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock and it becomes too much. But this one went well and I was glad that it did. We had a few roadblocks. We were able to get past them. So I give SafePoint kudos for having a fairly pain-free experience with getting it installed. Just a few little rough spots, and we worked our way past it without too much. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you do. You got to wing it sometimes. Absolutely. Good job. Black Shill says, I know that you have many certificates. Have you obtained the OSCP certificate? If the answer is yes, tell us about your experience. No, I've not done the OSCP. I took the penetration testing with Kali Linux course years ago, and it was good. Their training was great. I liked it a lot. I learned a lot. This was back when I was early getting into stuff, but I did not take the OSCP. I had a job at the time. I didn't need it. I probably should have taken it for the experience, but again, I'm very pragmatic. So if I don't need something, I typically don't do it just because time is short and I don't want to sit around trying to study for a certificate exam that I'm not going to take or don't need to take. Every now and then I'm like, well, this could be fun, or I want to speak closer to that experience. So maybe I should in the future take the OSCP and give you my experience with it. I just haven't had time for that kind of stuff. I wish I did, honestly, but listen, running all this and doing all this stuff, content does not create itself. For every, I'll give you some inside information. For every 30 minutes of a video that you see most of the time on my channel, Black Hills, anyone, Simply Cyber, there's a lot of pre-production stuff that goes into that. It's probably like, for every 30 minutes, it's probably 2 to 3 hours, right? It's for nice looking produced things that are professional grade. It's a lot of work. Well, back when I was doing training for that place that shall not be named, I'll say IT Pro TV because I loved IT Pro TV. We can use that term around here, not the other thing that it has become, the monstrosity. But IT Pro TV, I worked my butt off to make sure that those courses were as good as I can make them. And they gave me the freedom at that point in time to do that because they wanted to put out the highest quality product that we could make. We thought we can beat people in training. We can make it more fun. We can make it more engaging. We can make it more demo heavy, more hands-on, all that stuff, and kick the crap out of Linda and LinkedIn Learning and, what's the plural sites and all those of the world, because we're having fun and they're voice over PowerPoint, right? I hate voice over PowerPoint. Oh my goodness. Anytime I got to teach like a concept class, a theory class, I'm just like, oh man, nope, not today, old friend, not today. Because it's really hard to give good visuals with that. You're speaking abstractly, right? You're speaking in concept. So yeah, Luke Canfield, PowerPoint is gross. I see what you did there. But yes, it is. So yeah, Mark Fuentes says, love those courses. I'm glad. Thank you. I think a lot of people did. We loved making them. It was a lot of fun. So one day I hope to get back into doing that for myself and making courses for you good folks out there, and do like self-hosting, that kind of stuff. That is on my mind. One day. Well, we didn't get to vibe coding. I was going to talk about vibe coding today with secure vibe coding practices, but we didn't talk about that. We're at 11 o'clock, but definitely look into that. It's a really interesting thing. I've vibe coded quite a few things here recently, and security is the number one problem with vibe coding. So maybe we'll save that for next week then. It's a good thing. I've already pre-gamed next week as we will talk about vibe coding. I'm going to check the chat for just a moment and then we'll call it a day. Luke J, I love how you're doing the let's see how this goes. Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. And Mad Destroyer, do you have any videos on using Docker to build a home lab? Not per se, but that Websploit video uses Docker to build a home lab. So go check out my video on Websploit for home labbing. Joseph Caskell says, how do you make that ring pop out of your mouse pointer when you try to show stuff? It's in the Windows settings. That is a Windows setting, and a Google search away. Just look up. So now that you know where to look up how to. I think it is a Find My Cursor. It's in the trackpad, like advanced settings. So just look that up in Google, and it'll tell you exactly how to do that. And you just hit Control. And every time you hit Control, bing. Every time you hit Control, it'll do the thing. Right? Very cool. Let's see. Christopher Ryan Rain says, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you. Cheers. Right back to you. White Hat Sheepdog, thank you, and have a great weekend, everyone. Yes, thank you as well. Well, it looks like we're at time, kids. This was a lot of fun. Man, I did not expect this to go. That's what I love about the show, right? And that's what I hope you love about the show. We just kind of go. We just kind of by the seat of our pants. I love how you guys bring in stuff like White Hat Sheepdog is like, what do you think about these layoffs? And, what do you think about that certification? What do you think about CompTIA changing their pricing structure? I love that stuff. And obviously, we could just wax eloquent about it forever. And hopefully that builds us up all, right? That's rising tide raises all the boats. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your time as always. Tune in next week when we'll talk about vibe coding. And don't forget to check out my new video that is dropping today at around 2:30 Eastern. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know when those new things drop. And if you missed today's live stream, you can always check this out recorded. It is recorded for you. So with that said, thanks everyone for joining us today. And until next time, keep hacking.